Pistol crossbows are great, but their strings break all the time. So today, I'm going to be showing you how to prepare your strings so that they'll last you for many, many shots. One can acquire a pistol crossbow for around $20, at least that's how much they cost when I bought mine. But the strings break very frequently, and they all cost a couple dollars each. So pretty soon, you're going to be spending more on strings than you spent on the crossbow itself. Upkeep like that can be a deal breaker for me, so I've learned to prepare my strings so that they will last me hundreds of shots. It isn't hard, and you probably have the things you need to do it lying right around your house. And I bet you could have guessed the reason why. We need to remake these strings because they were made in the lovely country of China. Go figure. For now, you can set the plastic end caps aside. We won't need that until we string the bow. So this string is made out of polyester. Each individual thread is wound together and then wrapped up in more polyester thread. It's all held together by a friction hold, so it's not very strong. So I'm going to be using wax, super glue, and electrical tape to reinforce it. So there are a couple different sections here. The part that rides on the rail, and the two loose parts on either side, and then the loops that attach to the bow. We're going to be focusing first on the separated strings. Now I'm going to be using bowstring wax simply because I have it, but you could very easily make your own. That would be as simple as mixing a little beeswax with paraffin and maybe an oil. Start waxing the bowstring by separating each thread and getting the wax in between each one. It's pretty important that there's a decent amount of wax on this string, so don't be too conservative while using it. Apply it simply by passing the string back and forth over the piece of wax. Using your thumb like so can help you get a really even coating of wax across the string. Here you can see the coating of wax that I put on my string. Now all we have to do is work it together into one piece. To do so, simply pinch it and you will see that it works quite nicely into one solid uniform piece. To make the string work even better yet, twist it and then run your fingers over it to make it very uniform. And with that, we're ready to move on to the next step, which is to reinforce the part that slides along the rail. This is by far the part of most stress on the string, so it needs to be very solid. What you want to do is twist it back and forth to figure out which way they've wound the thread, and then twist it in the opposite direction, opening it up so that you can get the super glue in between each one, making it very solid. You can see how once I've untwisted mine, I didn't do it so much that it unraveled, just so that you can see the ridges a little bit better. Now run a bead of super glue over the entire section. Do not wipe it off and do not cure it with something like baking soda, because we want the super glue to settle into each and every fiber of the string. When you're done applying the super glue, you'll want to pull on it to straighten it out. It doesn't really matter because it will be pulled very tightly by the bow, but I think it helps a little bit. That's good enough for me. Now set it aside for a couple minutes to cure. Another important thing to do to increase the life of your string is to decrease rail friction. To do that, I'm going to be using the wax from a dollar store candle. It's very slippery and it's not anything like the beeswax that we use to wax the string. And yes, I realize that you could use something like WD-40, motor oil, cooking oil, anything like that, but I've chosen paraffin wax because it will hold up better. I can shoot more times before I have to wax it again. Make sure your rail does not go dry. If you start to notice wear on your string where it rides it, then you should probably wax it again. If not, the string's probably just getting old. Okay, now that the super glue on the string has had time to cure, it is time to wax it also. For that, I'm using the same wax that I used on the rail, again, to decrease friction. Get as much wax on there as you can and work it in as much as possible. Remember, this is the part of most stress on the string. Okay, so now I've strung the bow, and you can see that where it attaches at the loop, the strings are very loose. We need to put some super glue there as reinforcement. Okay, so I did that part. Now the string is ready to wrap, and for that I'll be using electrical tape. Notice that the bow is strung and cocked for the wrapping process. Now you will want to wrap the tape around about 3 times at each end. Every time you pull the trigger, the string gets jerked a whole lot, and it can unravel if you don't do this. Now work your way down the string with the tape, overlapping it sufficiently so that you don't have any spots of the string peeking through. You may find that you want to unwrap the tape and then cut it off the roll to be able to wrap it easier, but I have found that sometimes it makes it harder to keep it tight, and keeping it tight is very important. Either way is fine, just find what you like best. Notice that in every spot that I wrapped the tape several times to stop it from unraveling, there is a bulge. Yours should look like this too. If it does not, add a couple more pieces of tape there. Now, I'll leave you with some clips showing how accurate this can be with a little bit of practice. I thank you for watching this video, and I hope you stick around for more.